Hi, I'm Multimuse and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be making some polymer clay fish keychains, and here are some examples of ones I've made in the past. The first one was a confetti shark. This I did last night, and then this one I made a while ago. It is a fish pin. And this one here is a fish keychain that I also made a while ago. So I think in the beginning of this year I was interested in making polymer charms, so I started collecting and just putting together this box, which is specifically for my clay charms and my clay tools. So as you can see, some very loved clay. Now, I did used to use the soft polymer clay by this brand, but it just got way too soft. So I ended up trying the professional one, which works way better. I think the problem is that my hands just get too warm, so it just makes it so easy to accidentally just like squish what I've been making, but in a way that doesn't work in my favor. The way I like to start with sculpting the fish is by making its body. I like to bring both ends of the fish into like a smooth point, so that one end is where the tail will connect and then the other end is like its mouth. I like to think that my fish are sculpted in the same style that I draw them, so they're more on like the simplistic but like the proportions are kind of exaggerated side, and that's what I think makes them really cute. For this specific fish, I went with quite a basic tail. It's just a triangle, and here I'm using a little tip that I think makes it easier to connect the clay pieces together, and that is by cutting off the pieces that connect so that it has like a flat surface to then sculpt into one another and make it look like it's just one big piece. I have found that looks better on my sculptures, but if you guys are creating fish with polymer clay, I think that's a really easy way to make it look like the tail is part of the body. But yeah, as you can see, I then like to just carve the edges into each other to make it blend nicely. This could be a very tedious process, but it feels nice. It feels like I'm really getting something done when I'm doing this. But yeah, I just squish the two pieces together to make them really connect. To add more fishy elements, I like to indent the gills onto the fish, so it's a little more fun, a little more 3D. I like this process because you can literally just put it anywhere and it'll still look like it's meant to be there, you know? Like, the gills feel like the end of the head. So if you move the gills further down its body, it'll probably look like it has a bigger head. And then I like to connect the fins right onto the little crevice that I created for the gills. I think it looks really seamless that way, and it looks like it just blends in really well because of that. I also just love polymer clay because it feels like I'm bringing my ideas to life, and it's so fun. I love having like a little 3D sculpture that I can just look at and be proud of. I will say though that there is a lot to take into account when using polymer clay, and one of the things is keeping your area really clean, because this stuff attracts so much dust, and I've not exactly cracked the code. Like, I can wash my hands like a million times, sanitize the table, clean the table, make sure my tools are clean, and it'll still get really dusty. So at this point, I just paint over the dust, which works out really great for me because I love to paint the sculptures. It's such a fun process because I get to use my markers and my paint, and it's so fun. And I like having to be really intricate and careful when it comes to painting in the crevices, and it just feels so like rewarding, especially if it's done well. Being able to work with polymer clay opens up so many choices and doors for me as well, because I could start making earrings. Of course, I'm already making charms. I can make little like desk pals. I would definitely love to make some fishbone earrings. I think that would be so much fun. Now, another thing I would absolutely love to create is little chibi clay statues of my characters, and maybe even one day get commissioned to make some of your guys' characters too. But I'm definitely getting ahead of myself because I don't have the skills for that yet, but it's just an idea. Something to check out later down the line. Maybe soon, maybe make a video about it. Who knows? Also, if you're wondering about any of the tools that I use, I literally just bought like a big pack of some really cheap tools on Amazon. Like, I literally spent under £10 for this pack of like a bunch of tools that you will see me using, including the one that I'm using right now. Also, I know that maybe this content seems a little different to what I usually do, and I understand, usually I'm drawing, but tell me if you guys like seeing these like sculpting videos too, because if you do, I would absolutely love to share some more clay projects I have going on. I've got so many ideas, and today I went out and bought 2 different sized deep frames that are used for like DIYs and stuff, and what I want to do is make like this fish taxidermy looking thing. Like, you know when people pin bugs and stuff, I want to do that but sculpt fish and then like just put their name down and put them in the frame to kind of resemble bug pinning, because it's super cute. And yeah, I feel like it would be so fun and cutesy to do. I think another great idea would be to make some 3D canvases as well. I bought a circular canvas and I was initially going to make like this ornate looking fish illustration, but now I'm thinking maybe I should make some stuff out of clay and then like sand it so the back of it is flat and I can stick it onto the canvas and then make some kind of interesting 3D thing with that. But yeah, like I said, I have so many ideas going through my head that I would love to film, to record and then upload here for you guys to maybe enjoy. But yeah, just let me know what you guys think. But of course, this channel is still about drawing and like sketchbook stuff, so the polymer clay stuff won't be all the time. It'll be like on occasions. You might have noticed already, but I do like to put detail into the fins by just carving out some lines to resemble the marks that I usually put onto the fins when I'm drawing fish. Just yeah, once again, making it look like it's my art, because I want to be able to have my own clay style, if that's a thing. I assume it is, because not everyone is going to make the clay look the same. It's just like art styles, I guess. I might talk about this more at the end, but something that I struggle with is using UV resin. Like, I always manage to mess it up. I don't think I have the right tools for it. This is the last fish that you will see me sculpt, although I believe I sculpted one extra one just off camera though, because it would have been so long. This video would have been so long if I just kept everything in. Anyway, here is the reveal of all the fish out of the oven. They look so good, and now I'm on to painting them. So to paint the fish, I used my Arrtx acrylic markers because they are just so reliable when I'm painting on polymer clay. And I just like that they're easy to use and they dry pretty quick as well. The only downside is sometimes you have to put multiple coats, but that's not much of a problem. as once again, these are pretty small sculptures, so I really don't mind putting an extra layer or two because it doesn't take that much time. I did try using Poscas at one point, but I didn't like that when I used a white Posca on top of a black one, it, I think, like reactivated the black for some reason, and it was just muddying the white of the pupil. So I just stuck with Arrtx markers, of course. But yeah, for these fish, I wanted them to be eye-catching and bright and just funky, fun colors, and this pink and yellow one did become my favorite because I just thought it was so lovely and sweet to look at. But they all did turn out great. I think I did really well with choosing the colors. I will say it was kind of hard to film me painting on the fish just because sometimes I had to look really up close and personal, and I just kept moving out of frame on accident, so there's not a lot of the process for this filmed, but I tried my best. One of my favorite things about painting these fish is giving them the white highlight in their eyes. I think they're so cute. Using this tool is so scary because I get so nervous about messing up the hole, because then I don't want anything to fall apart or break, or I don't want to scratch the surface, because I have done that to a few of my sculptures before and it was not fun. It almost ruined them. Now for the actual hook that will connect the charms to the beads and stuff, I just use these eye pins because I already have so many of them, as I make jewelry as well, so I already have them accessible. But yeah, I just use a bit of super glue and some pliers and then all my strength to make sure that it's really in there. And look, they all look like they're ready to be connected to a keychain and held on somebody's bag. Also, the green and pink fish makes me think of like this one specific cartoon character. I don't know who it is, but it's like this little dog and it's really cute. My mum ended up taking this orange fish because she liked it so much, and I was like, yes, go ahead. Anyway, here I am just showing you my resin stuff. I don't show the actual UV process because it's so overwhelming, so I just didn't want to deal with it. And here I am using gloves. Use the proper PPE because it can be really dangerous if you don't. But yeah, here they are, all shiny and lovely, and it's time to get them connected to some beads. As you can see, over these past few years, I have collected quite an abundance of beads, so I have almost every color that I need for these fish. I should probably invest into a one-step looper. Is that what it's called? I don't know, but I've just been like manually creating these loops to connect the beads together because they're so expensive. They're so expensive, and I feel like I could do a pretty good job on my own, but it is quite the tedious process. I was really happy with all the beads that I chose for the fish. I think I chose quite the nice selection and it suited them quite a lot. Especially the pink and yellow one, but I think I'm just a little biased towards the color. I also only had one of these star clips, so I ended up just giving it to this purple fish as it was the first one that I made, and I was like, I think the star clip will look very nice. The rest just have like an ordinary clip, apart from the orange fish, which gets a phone strap. And for some of the fish, I did add like some extra beads on another hook for them because I thought it would be nice and fitting. This green and pink fish really reminds me of that one character. I need to look them up real quick. This is so silly. I looked up green and pink dog because that's all I'm working with, and I just couldn't find anything. And it's not Courage, the cowardly dog. It's not that one. I swear it was called like Iggy or Ziggy. I don't know, but I typed up Ziggy the dog and it absolutely did not show up. So I don't know. Maybe I was making something up. Maybe Mandela effect? I don't know. I'm not sure. Anyway, out of all of the bead arrangements, this was definitely my favorite because I think the stars look so cute. Especially with like the pink row next to the yellow row. Oh, it's just so sweet. Anyway, what I was saying earlier about UV resin, I accidentally clogged up this eye pin. So sadly, this fish is not gonna be on a keychain. But yeah, thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it and let me know what you think. Bye bye!